this country, has gone through a lot. The Indian people, the United States government, have done a lot. The policies of the government, the federal government, have changed quite a lot. One of the earliest policies of the federal government was called extermination. They didn't know how to deal with the Indian people of this country, so they developed a policy what they called extermination. They tried their very best to wipe out the Indian people, and they did it through many different ways. One of them certainly was the wars. They could go in and just do battle and conquer the Indian people in that way. Other ways, were, well, it was a little bit ironic, this past, the terrorism, Iraq thing, there was concern about germ warfare. But early on, our federal government, your federal government, introduced blankets that were infested with smallpox, and given to the Indian people. And virtually entire villages, entire tribes were wiped out because of what they were trying to do. They were trying to eliminate the Indian people in order that they might be able to take over the land and have dominion and control over the land. And other things like that. The federal government has virtually devastated the Indian people. Maybe the closest thing perhaps that we can relate to maybe is the Holocaust. The Germans and what they did to the Jews, the Holocaust. But in all reality, I think the Indian people have suffered as much, maybe or more, than the Jewish people have suffered in their intermingling. And so I believe what Chris, in my mind, has begun, and there's no such thing as possible, but it's almost like, in my mind, it's almost like a reinvasion, if you will, of America. I was interestingly watching the inauguration this past few months, and the day after the inauguration, they had a national Indian prayer service. I'm not sure how many of you might have watched that. And they had all the different denominations that were there present to speak, to say a few words on behalf of our country. I kept watching for an Indian person. I kept looking for an Indian person to be there. Because in my mind, this is what this country honestly, truly needs, is like a rebirth of this country. A rebirth of this country, and that the Indian people would be a part of this country as much, very much, or more so than every other denomination of people in this country, race of people that form the United States. And so I think what Chris, in my mind, this is what Chris is evolving and bringing into being. My understanding was that in 1992 that there was supposed to have been an apology from the churches to the Indian people for all the devastation and destruction that the churches had caused, because the churches themselves were very much a part of everything that took place, because that was one of the policies that had been evolved, was that the churches themselves would be a part of the education and because even then Indian people were termed as heathen people. We were referred to as the heathen people of this country. And so the churches themselves, when the federal government created a reservation, the churches were given an opportunity to go in and take over and convert the Indian people that were on that reservation. So the churches had this opportunity, but it all somehow backfired. And almost right now today, it's almost total destruction. The Indian people are at the lowest. If it's good for you, then the Indian people are at the lowest part of the scale, like socioeconomic scale. If it's bad for you, then the Indian people are at the top. If it's alcoholism, if it's unemployment, if it's suicide, if it's different things, school dropout rate. And so I think what Chris has, in my mind again, what Chris has initiated is a rebirth, virtually, if you will. A new partnership is being formed between the people and the Indian people. And we're praying that this is what's going to come into reality, that this is going to truly happen, that maybe one day that when an inauguration does take place and the National Day of Prayer takes place, that there will be an Indian person up there to deliver something from the Indian people. And this is, on my mind, what we're honestly, truly working for. And we're grateful, just like what Kevin and Kim had done when they traveled to Yakima. They left a beautiful home, just like Chris had left a beautiful home in Birmingham. Kevin and Kim traveled to Yakima, a beautiful home, and they slept on the floor. They paid so that they could be able to go out and do work in our community, roofing and painting and things for the Indian people there. And so we're grateful to them. It's beyond grateful. How can you truly pour out your heart to someone who has done so much for us? Because we're grateful for their effort to do that. We pray that things like that, I know all of you can't often leave your jobs and do that, but maybe continue on your prayers, that this truly will come to be. As I say, there's about 3 million Indian people in the United States, over 500 different Indian reservations, Indian tribes. And then they say further that there's only 2% of the Indian people claim to be Christian people. So there's room, for making contact with a different reservation, different tribe, anywhere. I don't know if there's any here in this region or not. But maybe this is what we're actually proposing that might somehow come into reality. And so we're grateful to be invited here. I really love this country. This is also my first time for visiting and seeing it. And I'm very grateful that I could come here. And I pray that you will continue to live into this beautiful country. It is beautiful. And we're grateful that we could be here for today. And maybe, as I say, God willing, maybe I'll see some of you again, somewhere. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We'll continue to pray that the good things will happen. And so I'm just grateful to be here with you today.